So, South Africa have won. Didn't think I was going to say that. The series have won the third ODI against Australia. And I am sitting here extremely happy about the performance. It was a very decent performance. At least I'll have to talk about the changing moments that took place within the game to actually make this something that I look forward to. Um, but let's get into this review today because I think we haven't won in a very long time, and it's nice to be able to sit here and say that we've actually won a match, and talk about the positives and how we can build on this going into the next games after this. Now, there's obviously some talking points in the match and some major, maybe one particular controversial point in the match that turned the match as well. But I think this is an awesome game to speak about, and I think it is something that we can be proud of with regards to this particular win. But before we get going, before we get started with today's review, there's something I'd like you guys to please do. First, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please support us by becoming a Patreon today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I am looking forward to discussing this one with you guys. Very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid Aiden, and this is the show where we talk about everything ODI between South Africa and Australia. So, what happened in today's match? So, first and foremost, South Africa, let me just give you a summary of what took place before I get into the live chat and start discussing everything with you guys in the live chat. So, ultimately, what took place was that South Africa was sent into bat first by Australia after they won the toss. And we got off to first, it was quite a slow start by Quinton de Kock and Bavuma. Quinton de Kock being bogged down a bit. But then one particular signature six from him brought him back into the game and brought South Africa back into the game. But Quinton de Kock, and then from then on out, I think it was in the third over, and from then on out, Quinton de Kock and the skipper Tim Bavuma, they hit the ground running. They impressed with early boundaries, and the Cock he overcame that jittery beginning, and he really took the punishment to the paces overall. The openers kept the innings going at better than a run a ball until Travis Head's off spin finally brought about a breakthrough for the visitors. So there was spin in the wicket, good reading conditions from the coaches to select two spinners in this game. Spin from both ends did the trick in this particular case, as rookie leg spinner Tranvir Sangha picked up his first ODI wicket of Bavuma in the very next over after he took out the Cock, after Travis Head dismissed the Cock. It seems to be the case in this series so far. One wicket falls and the next wicket tumbles shortly afterwards. It's something that is well known in cricket to happen, and it's often spoken about by commentators, and it happened once again over here. But then Reza Hendricks got an opportunity in today's game, and I was very impressed with him in today's game and how he took to it. And this just proves what we've all been saying about form and about the fact that Reza Hendricks is in form in the T20s. And yes, it's not the same. It's not the same format, but he's been bringing white ball form from domestic cricket into international cricket here, and straight from T20 cricket, international cricket into this game. And him and Aiden put on 76 for the third wicket, but there was a brilliant run out from Marnus Labuschagne, which ended Hendricks' innings at 39. And then I thought that the platform was kind of set, and South Africa would most likely then kick on with some of our danger men like Heinrich Klaasen and David Miller. But both of them departed very cheaply. and it looked like South Africa would struggle to rebuild and really post a good total. However, there was a priceless cameo from Marco Jansen that provided Markham with the support he needed towards the back end of this particular innings. And Markham had been scoring at a steady level, and despite the wickets falling around him, and I was getting nervous into the 40s and then again into the 90s that he wasn't going to reach that milestone and that luck would be against him once again. And even though the runs dried up in the final 3 overs, Markram kept enough of the strike to get his second century. And on the very last delivery of the innings, and he hit a brilliant four down the ground over the boundary. So I was delighted to see that picking up his bat so that he can get some form going into this particular World Cup. Getting 100 under his belt against Australia has to be a massive confidence booster, and also just a mental hurdle that he had to get over. Because he scored a couple of 50s, but only 100, and now there's two to his name, one big 100 and one not out, which is a brilliant thing for his average as well. Then in the reply, Australia got their innings off to an amazing start. I really thought, okay, this is going to be 3-0. And they were fantastic, and mainly because of two key partnerships, one by David Warner and Travis Head, followed by Warner and Mitch Marsh, saw them score 114, 15 overs basically. Head lost his wicket after a 48 ball, 79 run partnership between the two, and then followed by Marsh after the partnership of 61 or 43 balls, which was phenomenal start to their innings. But then the game turned when Warner attempted a run and lost his shoe and then slipped. And Maharaj actually got the run out. But the delivery before that, there was an amazing stop by Aiden MARKRAM in the field that he stopped the boundary basically. Which or a ball that was destined for the boundary. And the following delivery, Maharaj got that run out of Warner, and the game just switched. Wicket stumbled with introduction of the two spinners, Shamsi and Maharaj. That's when they put on the pressure because our seamers bowled very poorly today up front. It wasn't a matter of just the Australians batting well, Warner batting well, and Travis Head and them batting well. For me, it was they bowled in Warner's slot consistently. Warner barely moved. He didn't use his feet much. He just stood and delivered, almost like baseball today. The smacking the ball around. They were bowling right into his slot. And now inexperienced seam attack showed themselves today. You can see how rusty Magala is, even though he took a wicket. But we hats off has to go to Tabray Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj, who really turned the game back into South Africa's favor, put the pressure back on the Australians. I mean, Shamsi 2 for 29 with an economy of 4 for 14. Keshav Maharaj 2 for 37 with an economy of 3.70, and he bowled his full 10 overs. And then at the back end, Gerald Coetzee cleaned out everybody. Like literally, it was a magnificent performance from him at the end. I think that was a mature, ruthless performance from him to clear out the rest of the Australia team. But there is a controversial incident that took place with Bjorn Fontein's catch, where the third umpire said that he saw there was fingers under the ball, and the commentators obviously saying that there wasn't. When I looked at the replay, I could see what the umpires were seeing, and I thought that he did get fingers under the ball. But the more you look at it, and the more you look at it, you can see both sides of the equation. To me, it did look like it bounced on his fingers. Now, if you want to be scientific about it, some people would say, "How can it bounce how can the bounce be so pronounced if it's going to bounce on his fingers?" But to me, it did look like he had fingers under the ball, um, and the ball bounced on his fingers, and he actually took the wicket. So there is a bit of a controversy about that wicket, but yeah, things just started to go haywire from there. But I think that the spin duo of Keshav Maharaj and Shamsi need to get a hell of a lot of praise today. Even though Gerald Coetzee finished with 4 for 50 in his 6.3 overs, I still do believe that the game really turned when we introduced our two spinners. So hats off to both spinners. Shamsi's been getting a hell of a lot of criticism online, etc. So an amazing performance from him. And now it's all about for this. For me, it's I hope they can keep up their momentum, keep up their consistency. At least now we know that Bavuma scored 100, Markram's now scored 100, pressures off them. Riza showed good intent. Um, we've had now we just need Miller and Klaassen to show their ability. Marco Jansen's been consistently good every single time he came out. Um, every time he's come out to the middle to bat, he's shown real intent with the bat. So all in all, positive to us. The one thing that I have to criticize is South Africa do tend to, when things are not going their way, they tend to slouch and look a little bit sad in the field and downtrodden, you could say, in a way, and their spirits aren't up. And then it takes a moment or something just to get everybody riled up and fired up, and then we seem to turn things around. I've seen this again in the England tour. I've seen this in the World Cups. I would like us to start with that intensity from the get go, even if someone gets bludgeoned in the first over or whatever the case may be. I just want to see those spirits stay up, and their body language seems to like slouch a bit, and they seem to be looking a little bit down in a way when things aren't going their way. So I'm hoping that we can work on that and turn that around. So overall, I think a great game, a good victory for South Africa. It's something that we needed to save the series, and now it's on to the next game. And let's hope and hope that we can do something amazing in Pretoria and Centurion. I think a lot of these players would have preferred to play there anyway. So let's hope that we can get a good result and possibly win the series. It's on now, and we need to. I hope it's on the constant incline now with regards to these players. Let me see what you guys have to say in the live chat and what you guys have had to say about this particular victory. Sam said, Khalid, yesterday I have said that Sawa Aiden should start building his innings first. He gets settled. Then we all know his class and aggressive approach. Class player, emergency, he said, drop him today. I hope from today's knock, Aiden MARKRAM fans will be satisfied with his place in the ODIs. In past, he hasn't done well, but now he's scoring at a good average. Our fast bowlers hasn't looked like international bowlers. They all look outclassed. They are very inexperienced. They look today. Marco struggling up front. Magala struggling in the middle overs. And even Gerald could see his start. He was a bit wonky. But he bowled really well at the end. I think he bowled with ruthlessness at the end, which I think needs some praise. Serious work needed in bowling. We cannot make 400, 415 ODIs. Bowlers have to defend. Markram's spot should never have been in question heading into the World Cup. Had a brilliant ODI run last season, averaged 50, and 2 games into the new season, people were asking questions. Glad he shut the distractors up. Yep, I've never doubted Aiden and his ability in this format ever. I always knew that he just needed an opportunity, just needed that breakthrough. Just it was 1 or 2 innings to go his way because he was getting very unlucky and he was getting himself out. But he needed that mental breakthrough basically for him to get over that line. Finally, Sisarath, this is the team to face Sri Lanka in the opening game. Good, because I let Riza play. Good, but still we don't have a bowler who bowl in the power play. Fielding was also not good. At the beginning, the fielding wasn't good. Fielding got much better. Like I said, after that stop from Aiden Markram and the run out, things started to turn around. And you can see South Africa. That's what I want South Africa to realize. When they have the confidence in each other and they believe each other and they pump each other up, they perform brilliantly. And they need to keep that intensity in the field. It really helps everybody all around. I mean, the way Quinton was smiling when he took that stumping, where how everybody came together, how Shamsi was celebrating. These are all things that we must take with us and keep it consistent within the team. This should become part of the team ethos to behave in this manner and to celebrate everything. And even when you're down, to talk to each other in the field and keep each other motivated, because that's really how you can that can be the fine margins between victory and a defeat. Bowling in the power play has been the worst I've ever seen, says Gorov. Wonder what happened to Klaassen. He needs to get his confidence back. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with Klaassen's confidence, because in the last game he showed that intent. I don't know what happened to him today. He just had a very off day in the field. He had an off day with the bat. He had an off day. It was just one of those days for him. And it was quite ironic because he was the one that was speaking in the press conference about being able to do the basics and doing the basics first. And yet he did he went for a sweep in his second delivery to get bowled LBW. So that was a bit of a ironic one. Today, all SA supporters must have been proud of Aiden. He's a big match player. Proving again and again he scored 175 when we needed the qualification. Amit says, seems like Janssen should not try to swing new ball. He should just try to hit the right areas. And I agree with you there. I don't think Janssen has perfected the art of swinging the new ball yet. He's still a youngster. I think that if he, with his height and his pace, if he just hits the right areas and lets the seam do the talking, and he bowls it in the correct areas, the ball will do enough to be able to bamboozle batters. And I think that angles that he bowls at and the trajectory he comes from, they all are unique aspects which will automatically create variations within his bowling. So I think he needs to take it back to basics and not overthink it too much and just try to put the ball in the right areas consistently in that power plays. Make it hard for the batters to play. And the best way to do that is to put it in the same spot. And now and again, the ball will hit a little bit centimeter to the right or left can make a big difference for the ball to angle in or angle out and get a nick or get a wicket or whatever the case may be. So I think that maybe the instructions to Marco Jansen is to trust that his natural action, his height, his pace is all unique, and he doesn't need to maybe do something even more extra and go search for swing or search for variations. The variations will come if he puts the balls in the right area. Bowlers really need to work next match back. Anrich and Rabada in place of Maharaj and Magala because Centurion is not spin friendly at all. Centurion's changed a lot though recently. No more questions on Markram's spot. He is our prime player as Kohli for India, Babar for Pakistan, Williamson for New Zealand. We can see your bias for Markram coming through there, Sam. Magala's dive while taking second run made me worry. Magala is not a ideal choice for continuously playing 9 matches by doing all three bowling, batting, and fielding, says Amit. After today's performance, Paul says the rest of the cricketing world will sit up and take notice. Feels like we won after ages, says Gaurav. Can the Proteas repeat 2016 SA England ODI series winning 3-2 after losing the first 2 games? We need to talk about the fielding. It was really bad. Didn't expect that from Miller and Klaasen. Yeah, we didn't. They were both very off today, Miller and Klaasen. But okay, Miller came back and he took a very good catch in later on in the innings. So yeah, it wasn't the best of performances by them, but it was just an off day. The perfect time for them is coming. They're the type of players that do enjoy big moments, and in the next match we might need them in Centurion in the high felt where the ball can travel, where Klaasen is very familiar and comfortable, where David Miller is will be able to clear the boundary with ease. I think that the next game is where they're going to star, and we just need to do what we did today: build a nice platform with the openers and the number 3 and the 4, and then allow them create a similar scenario to today for them consistently. If we can do that consistently, they will always be weapons that will be able to really punish the opposition. If David Miller and Heinek Klaasen got in today, I think we could have gotten way closer to 400. Even though that was a record score on the ground, it would have been a record chase if Australia chased it down. But 111 run victory, I'm happy with that. Gives them a little bit of the taste of their own medicine. Really happy today. Well done, boys, says Ahmad Shams. Since we changed fitness rules, our fielding has been awful, says Gaurav. Finally, we can smile. We need to talk about our seamers, however. They look short of any confidence. Janssen all over the place. Kutsia started terribly. Magala looks undercooked. And dare I say, looks unfit. Yeah, he does look unfit. You know what, what I think is happening with our bowlers, especially these bowlers, the younger ones, I think they've been given way too many instructions. Like I think maybe it comes across like that, or they're trying to do a little bit too much. What I think they need to do is just hit good lines and lengths. Literally, let the pitch do the talking. Especially in India, I think the pitch will do the talking. They don't necessarily need to be able to swing the ball up front like he expects. Now, look here, Marco has a lot more experience now in India playing IPL, bowling in the IPL. So it might be very different in India. I mean, a wicket like Poch is not necessarily a wicket where you want to swing the ball. It's a wicket where you need to put the ball in the good areas consistently. And maybe that is something that Janssen has to first before he can start learning to add other aspects to his game. I think that Janssen on most wickets, if he just puts the ball in good areas consistently, you'll be successful 100%. You'll get wickets. You'll put pressure on the opposition in the power play, all of those type of things. I can see it happening. I can see why they want to utilize him, but I think maybe he's doing a little bit too much because he doesn't have full control over that new ball swing. Janssen, we bowl is really bad, gives runs easily, can't maintain pressure. Next match, please, Anik Nokia and Rabada, says Sam. Market and Quinny delivered today, Khalid, bro. Yes, they both did. Fast bowler are bad. It's worrying. I'm not so worried about it. I'm sure that they will get into the rhythm. And these games are perfect for them to get into the rhythm. So that once we hit the warm up games, we'll be in good shape. And then the World Cup starts. Aiden is strong on the front foot, has good balance. He needs to improve his back foot shots. He can be really valuable asset. Marco's long arms can make him a real threat. Come on, guys, stand up. Aiden Markham, Premier Star of SA Cricket. How many times, Sam? Much needed W, man. Very, very, very important win. Finally, we're playing both our spinners and we win. Also, we play well played Markram and Quinton de Kock. The previous game and tonight showed us why two frontline spinners is a must in the 11 heading into the World Cup. I think Rob needs to revise his thinking of wanting four seamers on the park at all times. His words. Yep, and we've been saying it. We've been speaking about it. I mean, that was the one aspect of his press conference that I criticized, and I think some of you guys too. We criticized that particular thought process because I mean, we know because Maharaj is so accurate and consistent. Like he barely gives away a bad delivery. Like that's what makes him so good. And he doesn't always have to take wickets, but if he can take wickets as well, it's even better. But what he does really well is maintaining pressure. And I think when he is bowling well from the one end, and you've got Shamsi's variations from the other end, and Shamsi when he's in confidence is a dangerous player, and that's why I'll always back him. I'll always back Tabray Shamsi in general. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be dropped when he plays poorly, but what I'm saying is, I'll always back him in an 11. I'll never say that he's not good enough to ever play for the Proteas. I will never say that because I know that he's the type of player that is a big match player that can do something amazing. And when his confidence is up, he can be deadly. So that is someone that I'll always back because I know how much he wants to win. He has a hunger to win. And it's something that comes naturally to him is that mentality. And but it's sometimes when he's off form and being a wrist spinner, you're gonna get patches where you're off form. It's just a normal thing. When you are a wrist spinner, those things happen. Um, Bowling in power play is bad, Harley, bro. I think SA badly need an informed Rabada and Nokia before the World Cup. We do. And that's why I do think that Rabada needs to play the last two games. Um, he really needs to get some form because we're gonna need him this World Cup. Markran had patience issues. Remember when he punched and broke his hand? He needs to get set in the early part of to unleash his talent. You know what he did well today? When he got into the 40s and he got into the 90s, he didn't look to chase the score and get there quickly. He took singles when needed, when there was a good delivery, and he didn't try to smack every ball to the boundary to get to the milestone quickly. He had some patience in his game today. So you spot on, Ahmed, I think, because I think that's what happens with Markram. He gets into a groove and then he doesn't just take a step back and breathe. He continues and he tries to go again once he's hit a good once he's had a good shot. Whereas today we saw him even utilize some good defensive shots just to calm himself down, which I think is crucial to his game if he wants to play the long game and wants to score more hundreds for South Africa. I just hope Quinton de Kock and Markram can keep this form and consistently performs in the World Cup. We can't afford our form players to ghost when it really matters. And generally speaking, we know that Quinton de Kock is the type of player that scores on the trot. Now he hasn't scored a century yet. It would be so ideal if he could score a century against Australia when we play them in the second game of the tournament. That would be amazing. Um, so let's wait. Let's see how they can grow their confidence and grow their momentum. Riza's looking amazing as well. I think that might be something to look into. Riza may be starting this tournament. It could be something to look into. Playing both Shamo and Maharaj will give us so much balance, especially in the subcontinent. I just hope Rob keeps them playing together going forward. Let's hope they don't drop Kutsia in the next match. He will again benefit in Centurion, and it's his new home, so maybe that will give him some inspiration. Every team attack us in power play and we struggle to bowl. Don't think that catch would have helped Australia, even if it was not given out, which I think it was. Our spinners were all over them anyway. There was only one outcome with Shamo and Kesh in tandem. Brilliant confidence. I criticized Aiden and Shamsi, but I will appreciate them today, says Gaurav. Magala is not, and I like that, guys. I like that you guys do give credit where it's due. You don't only criticize. And that's the type of community we're trying to build. Magala is not international standard, man. He is not fit enough. He is below par as an international quality. He is exposed, says Suraj Campbell. Shams got the big two fishes. For me, his wickets were the most important along with Warner's run out, says Ahmed. Our fielding since new, that's, I agree with you, by the way. I even highlighted that in my report. Our fielding since new fitness rule changes has been poor. Now, with the win, we shouldn't forget our bad bowling in the first 10 overs. We gave hell of a juice sheet deliveries to the Aussies. We all criticize, doesn't mean you're wrong to do so. We just need them to do it more consistently now. Good spot, Khalid. We tend to always need to get a wake up call first before we turn it on. This Australia team, how will they play spin in India? Let's wait and see. Magala is not fit for the ODI cricket at the world's biggest stage like World Cup. He gets exposed. Magala is not fit enough for international ODI cricket, and bowling wise too harsh, but it's a reality. Perhaps he won't even play. They could go with Jansen and Maharaj at 8, and then 9 with Kutsia, and then 10 with Nokia, and then 11 or Nokia or Kagiso, and then 11 they could go with um, Shamsi. That could also be another option um, into this particular series, into the World Cup. But it's most likely he won't. It's most likely that he won't. He will play games. I think they will rotate the bowlers. I think they will give rest to some bowlers in specific games, dependable on whose skills are going to be needed most within the matches. So that because it's a long tournament and we play everybody, I don't think it's I don't think it is realistic in a tournament setup like this for every single player to play every single game. Um, we might we might need to rotate in this World Cup, and I think every team is going to have to utilize their squad. I agree we need them to do it more consistently. I've been saying that, says Gaurav. Australia were not comfortably facing spin today. Magala didn't look fit at all, says Gaurav. Magala should lose a bit of fat. He is slow in the field, says Ahmed. Fielding is our strength. We should use it fully. Why they let him head to bowl to 10 overs, 40 runs, and get 2 wickets? I wish Parnell was there in place of Magala. Magala is not fit enough for international ODI cricket. Um, tough to though two spinners work today, but SA spinners are not good enough to travel India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, who are pretty good against spin. Also, Mumbai, Ahmedabad will be flat as a road, so 4 paces. Yeah, I think that they're going to utilize the bowling attack. I don't think it's two spinners at every ground. It's going to depend on the conditions. Markram should play Maharaj more and more in the nets. He has weaknesses against left arm orthodox. Our batters throw their wicket after getting starts. That's the problem. I would like to see our batters perform while chasing big totals like this under pressure. We are not going to have the same situations in every match, says Ahmed. Seems like the that last batting spot in the top six is between Riza and Rasif van der Dussen. And Riza is the one who's currently informed between the two. So let's watch this space as things will get interesting, says Lorenzo. Saif says 19 and 2023 SF team fielding huge difference. Who are your five bowlers in the 11 for the World Cup? For me, Kesh, Sharma, Nokia are automatic choices, says Kanye. And I agree with you that they are dependable on the conditions at which pitch they're playing at. Our bowlers struggle to bowl six gold balls. Bowls. Balls. I think you mean. Australia is not batting good in power play. That is our bowling, which is allowing him to bat like this. Today, like I said at the top of the show, yes, Australia were the ones that batted aggressively, but we didn't make it very difficult for Warner today or Travis Head. We literally bowled in their arc. They didn't have to move their feet. They just had to stand and deliver. Bowled right in the arc, right in their hitting areas, and they just had to stand and smack. Literally, it wasn't like they had to play great cricket shots throughout their innings. A lot of it was basic basic cricket shots that they just had to stand and deliver for. And they bowled right in their arch and right in the arc and right into their favorite playing shots positions. Whatever the position is for their favorite shots, we basically bowled exactly to that, which is crazy. Guys, please smash the like button. I want to see 40 likes on the end of this video. Because I see a lot of you. There's quite a few of you guys that are joining in and streaming in. I would like to see 40 likes on the video, if possible, by the end of this video. Um, our fast bowling is poor. Bringing back KG next game won't solve this issue. Well, I think that in the last game, KG bowled pretty well. I think he's starting to find his groove again, slowly but surely. And I think that um, he should play. I think he should play the next game. I think if Nokia's fit, I think he should too. I think I would like to see both of them play, but it's gonna be tough to fit everybody in, especially when you play two spinners. We are lucky with Warner's run out, but sometimes you need luck. Um, Australia was lucky when Rasif van der Dussen got run out. No, I'm joking. Magala is not young; he is already over 30, says Suraj. Top teams take wicket in power play and keep pressure. We need that. Um, well, they also struggled today to take wickets in the power play. Khalid, bro, your take on Magala? It feels like he has fitness issues. Yeah, he didn't look very fit today. He didn't look at his best today at all. I mean, his first deliveries were like 128 kilometers per hour. Like he normally hits up to 140, very with ease. Um, he does look a little bit unfit. I mean, I think he's been injured for quite some time. So there's going to be there's going to have to be a call on him on whether they're going to continue with him. Is it possible for us to maybe see a 7 and 8 with Gerald at 8? Is that possible? And then have Keshaf at 9? Is that a possibility um, in certain games? Or are we going to go with um, are we going to drop? Is it going to be between Gerald and Andy Nokia that they're going to pick between? It's going to be very interesting how we're going to juggle our bowlers. I think they might bring back Parnell. I don't think Magala can last in the World Cup. Maka Janssen, Gerald Kutsia are younger, but Magala is already over 30. Your prediction about New Zealand versus England tomorrow? Uh, um, I'm I'm gonna go with England. England is just a dangerous team. Magala is clearly not World Cup player. How he selected in World Cup squad, he hasn't done well at all, says Sam. Kani says we just need to drop Shamo against India. Um, if Rob wants four seamers, then it should be Janssen, Kutsia, Rabada, Nokia. But fourth one should not be Magala, says Suraj. This this ODI series, Bavuma has not done his field placing as he had done in the past ODIs, says Sam. Khari, I don't think Magala can play international cricket with that fitness level, says Kani. South Africa will be beaten very badly in India. There will be no flat pitches like this, says Rushdan. Apparently, there are some wickets that are going to be a little bit flat. Not obviously like Potch or like Bloom, but relatively flat. Harley, the next ODI is in Supersport Park. Australia might score 400 there. Very short boundaries there. Yes. And we might see Bloomky back into the attack. We might see KG back into the attack. That is a a big possibility. I don't think they will go with two spinners. We might only see one, like the Bray Shamsi. So let's see what happens. Hey, Khalid, bro, everybody, congratulations. We did it, says Wackers George. South Africa are missing Wayne Parnell for new ball, man. Include him if he's fit and place of Magala, or include Bayer Swanepoel in World Cup squad, or add an extra middle order bat. I think it's a little bit too soon for Bayers. Khalid, is it just me or does Magala look a bit bigger than he does? We need him fit and ready to go so he can be crucial player for us at 8 in batting lineup along with his death bowling. And it makes sense if he is because the injuries that he had, it wouldn't have been very easy for him to do any exercise or any activity or strenuous activity. So it's he does look he does look a little bit bigger than last season, to be honest. Uh, what an innings from Aiden. MARKRAM, says Wackers George. Yes, KJ and Quinton de Kock are the most underperformed in the ICC tournaments. Riza looks in a good knock, says Wackers George. We need backup because Nokia and Magala are having injury issues, says Gorav. Shamsi used the googly very well, and he also didn't bowl off track because it was old Shamsi. It's just Shamsi goes through dips, man. I mean, all wrist spinners go through dips. I've never seen a wrist spinner that is consistent in every single match that he plays. There will always be a game or two where they'll dip and where they won't perform. I've even seen it with Rashid Khan and Nasaranga. So, and they're the two best in the world currently. So, yeah, I don't think that we should be worried about Shamsi. When his tail is up, he's on fire. Um, I think if they utilize him wisely in conditions, in specific conditions during the World Cup and not play him every single game, I think we can really he can really be a secret weapon, or not a secret weapon. He can really be an important weapon for South Africa. Let's win the fourth match, is Wakas George. Which four team do you think the World Cup semi-final? I would like South Africa in there. I think England and India and Australia. I think those are the England, India, Australia, and South Africa. I think those will be the four. I hope. Uh, but we never know. Pakistan might be able to pull off an upset against Australia or against one of the teams. So it could be Pakistan, India, England, and South Africa. Um, Shamsi needs to bowl more googly. He barely bowls googlies, says Gaurav. Khalid, who will be your opening ODIs after Quinn de Kock retired? I think Yanaman Malan should get a chance after de Kock retires. I think Yanaman Malan needs to have a brilliant one-day competition this season. The one-day cup starts this weekend. I want to see Yanaman firing there. I want to see an improvement in his game against spin. And then by all means, yes, he can open up the batting. But I think it's also an opportunity maybe to allow someone like Risa Hendricks to open the batting, perhaps, with Temba Bavuma, or perhaps even we could see a we perhaps we can even see an opportunity for like Aiden Markram maybe taking that position. Is a out. I don't really want to change his position because he's doing well at four, but that might open up another spot for like a Stubbs, for example, to bat up the order. That could be a option. Diva Brevis maybe in the future if he has a good one day cup and he plays a lot of games for the Titans, he might be in the mix. For a potential call up for that number four spot. So there's a lot of players that are in position or that could possibly be that opener for South Africa. This one day cup, this one day cup series is going to tell us a lot about the future of South African cricket. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on it this season. Ahmed says Magala can work on his fitness and be that X factor if someone is off form. He is a bit different from our other bowlers. He hits the deck very hard, bowls a very heavy ball, yes. Tell us honestly, do you think SA can fix their spot in the World Cup semi final? Don't forget it will be in India. I think we have um I think we have a lot more experience playing against spin in India now with the players that have played in the IPL. Heinrich Klaassen, um, David Miller, Aiden Markram. Um, I think all of them have capabilities of being doing well in India. I don't see why not. Um, Remember that all teams will struggle to play in India if what you're saying it is in India, because then only India will win all their games then. And maybe only Sri Lanka and only Pakistan, if we believe that to be true. I don't think that the wickets will be. I don't think the ICC will allow wickets to be solely created for spin friendly conditions. I do think that they're going to try and make it as equal as possible and even as possible and allow for a competitive tournament to take place. That's what I think they will do, right? Now, whether they do that or not, and whether the pitches will deteriorate as the competition goes along, that's another story. So we're gonna have to wait and see how those wickets act up. It's very difficult to now sit here and say South Africa won't be able to play because we don't know what the conditions are going to be like at the stadium. If the conditions do suit South Africa, then we have a good chance. If it doesn't, then we don't. It's as simple as that. The conditions might not even suit India. We don't know what's going to happen in this particular World Cup. So the countries that host World Cups don't always win World Cups. Remember that. Not all the World Cups where hosts have been where the certain team has been a host have they always won the World Cup. So that just shows that home advantage doesn't really matter with an ICC event. It can play a massive difference, and obviously in India, when you have such a big support behind you in a crowd, that can either be good for them or it can be pressure for a hell of a lot of pressure for them. One thing I don't like with us is we never drop our main players if they are poor. KG has been awful in white ball cricket for the last 4 years. It has nothing to do with his form, but he's been dropped or he's been left out of the team in recent times under Rob. Jero Kutsia looked fired up today. Congrats for him for getting 4 wickets. Thought the show started now. How did you look a lot better today? Yeah, thank you, DT. Magala has skills but needs to eat his German excess. Okay, we've been saying this the whole time. There's no point in repeating it. It gets to a point where it's just ridiculous. Khalid, what will you be? Will your playing 11 be for the World Cup? It depends on the conditions and it depends on the ground we're playing at. It won't always be the same for me. Um, but if I'm going to just give a World Cup 11, if the conditions are spinning, then it would be for me. It will be based on current form. I would go with Pavuma, Quinton de Kock, Riza Hendricks, Aiden Markram. I think that top four was brilliant today. Heinrich Klaassen and David Miller. Even though I like Rassi a lot, Rassi just hasn't been in form. And if he plays the next match and he's back in form again, then by all means, I'll go with Rassi. Then Marco Jansen at 7. At 8, I'll go with Keshav. 9, I'll go with Heinrich, uh, with Andrich. 10, I'll go with KG. And 11, I'll go with Shamsi. Keshav says, why everybody is complaining, just enjoy the win. Yep. Regarding our concerns against Asian batsmen playing Shamsi and Maharaj, we should remember how Sri Lanka was decimated in the 2015 quarterfinal by Dumini and Tahir. It's not all black and white. It isn't. Some things backfire. Sometimes things backfire. Hardly do you think Risha could be the fourth spin option along with Maharaj? I mean, Risha doesn't really bowl spin. He like more bowls slow deliveries. Like the ball doesn't spin that much, to be honest. He's not gonna like people say that. I think we need to understand that even flat batting wickets take turn, Bloom and Potch today, and we see that in an IPL a lot too. Our team looks more balanced with the two spinners, 100%. Only criticism I have is Temba Bavuma gave his wicket away. So did Quinny. Update on, okay, yes, the ball did bounce deeply. Update on Anna injury. Will he play? We are not sure yet. We haven't gotten an update on Anna yet. Magala was really struggling to run doubles in the death overs, says VL. Yeah, it was crazy. It was squeaky bum time. Why not rest our speedsters, Rabada and Nokia for now? They will have the warm ups and they know while the Indian conditions they can come fresh. Marco needs to pack some muscle. It will help his size, hitting ability. He's it will help his hitting ability and increase his pace too. He needs some ribeyes, some tomahawks, some briskets in his diet. What are the trainers doing? Says Tex. Who will be your backup lone spinner? Kesh or or Shamsi? Oh, sorry. Who will you pick as your lone spinner? Kesh or Shamsi? It depends where we playing. For me, on wickets that are turning a bit, I'll go with Shamsi. On wickets that are a little bit more flat, I'll go with Kesh. Warner was consistent. Um, yeah, Imran Tahir as the most consistent wrist spinner for more better than Shamo, far more better than Shamo. If we have to play only three seamers, then my pick would be Janssen. Only one can bat at seven. Nokia and third seamer be a toss up between KG and Gerald. In case of four seamers, obviously both can play. Yuzvendra Chal and Kuldeep Yadav are best leg spinners in the world, along with Rashid Khan. Yeah, Charles brilliant, Kuldeep's brilliant. Asaranga's also very good. Shamsi's strike rate in ODI cricket is phenomenal. 44 games and 65 wickets. That's really good returns. Shows he's a wicket taker. And yet we were concerned about his ability in the ODI arena, some of us. Miller is struggling to build innings since last five. And that's why that just shows that we sometimes forget about, we only like see when players do badly, we only seem to think like in the recency, like the recent we have this recency effect where we just think about the last performances that they performed and we don't think about before that when they were good. It almost gets erased. Top five teams will be Australia, India, England, New Zealand, and Pakistan, says Suraj Kamal. I'm more scared of the game against Afghanistan in the World Cup. DB as an opener is Wakas. Hardy brother, these are already 34. South Africa needs to find a younger options for future perspective. Um, why not bring in a spin consultant for the World Cup? Pakistan brought Matthew Aiden and Philander as consultants only for a T20 World Cup a few years ago. We can get someone like Russell Arnold. India, England, and Australia, in my opinion, are shoe-ins for the semi-final spots. The final spot will be a battle between South Africa, New Zealand, and Pakistan, I feel. So we will need to beat them in order to, in our head-to-heads. Rickelton is a like replacement for Quinton de Kock, says Vishal. I love protest, but frankly, speaking, South Africa has a very less chance with the squad. They are one or two hours in the squad. Quinton de Kock's last ODI at Swift Park, man. Yeah, it's going to be an emotional one for him. India won home World Cup in 2011. Australia won home World Cup in 2015. England won home World Cup in 2019. Hardy brother. Yeah, that's true. When the day came, but what I was saying is they don't always win it. So it's not always the case. I mean, yeah. When the day comes that we see MARKRAM captaining all format, Heineklassen also can bowl. We need to work with the sports psychologists. We are analyzing tactically and technically. We needing to include the mental aspect. Asian countries play with immense and pressure and expectations. Against India, I will pick Keshav Maharaj over Shamsi because Shamsi's record against India is very poor, says Siraj. Why are you not watching a series from the stadium? Says Rushta. Says because I don't live in Potchefstroom, that's why. Go and support, says Rustan. Khalid, our first match is in Delhi, who is both spin and for fast bowling. And also, I can't stream from the stadium, like do the live shows if you want me to do that. So, yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. Um, all the games that I can go to, I go to when there's an opportunity to do so. I haven't had the chance to be able to fly to Potchefstroom. It's quite an expensive trip to go there and support. But anyway, guys, that calls the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to the magazine. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also become a patron today and support us. We also by keeping us going, and then you can maybe fund me some trips so I can go watch them play in Potchefstroom by becoming a patron today. Also smash the like button, comment, and share. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all the regular updates. We are like 40 away from 4,000 subscribers, so please get your friends and family that are South African cricket fans to um, support the channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys again for another preview show. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out.